left in the last session. As I had promised you, I would be taking up some questions which have been posted by the students. I have received about 3 questions from the students regarding whatever was covered till yesterday. So I will be working on that first, and then I will be starting with the further portion as told earlier. Now the first question is, why do we still use OPC, that is the ordinary Portland cement, if pozzolana was being used earlier and pozzolana structures are still standing, like the Roman structures are still standing today? So why are we still using OPC? Well, the answer for this is something like this. The government of India has said that we should not be using OPC anymore. This is not now, it is in the previous years that government of India has already said that we are not going to use OPC. There are different reasons for that, but the government of India has also said that we are going to use blended cements. In India, for the construction purpose, we are supposed to use blended cements. Now, in blended cements, we have two categories. One is slag cement and one is pozzolana cement, Portland pozzolana cement, and another one is slag cement. So both these cements can be used and OPC should not be used. Okay, there are much more benefits of using blended cements. These are the cements which are blended with OPC and we get much more benefits in this. So that's why we have to use PPC, that is Portland pozzolana cement, or PSC, the slag type of cement. OPC is not to be used at all. Whether in PCC, that is plain cement concrete, or RCC, OPC is not supposed to be used. Now the second question which has been asked is, why was RCC not used for the first skyscraper? Yeah, yesterday I mentioned that the Ingalls building, the first skyscraper which was built in the US, was not done with reinforced concrete. It was not done of RCC. That is because just about 20 years before that, the reinforcement was invented and there was patent on the reinforcement. So anyone who was supposed to use the reinforcement, he had to pay the royalty towards the reinforcement. This discouraged many people from using reinforcement in their concrete works. So that's the reason why reinforcement was not used, or it was sparingly used in the first skyscraper, that is the Ingalls building in America. Now the third question which has been asked is, can bricks be used to form concrete, since it was mentioned that concrete was the first concrete was cement and bricks, which was used by the Romans at that time. Yeah, true. In concrete, we use today aggregates. It is sand, cement, and aggregates. Now, if we don't have the aggregates, which we are using basaltic in nature as far as Goa is concerned, then we can use any other suitable aggregates. Now, when we say suitable, bricks also can be used. Let me also inform you that about 10 years ago, the students of our polytechnic had done a project by replacing the basaltic aggregates with bricks, that is brickbats, and also replacing the basaltic aggregates with the Mangalore tiles, floor tiles, and they had got the various results. Yes, what we observed is, because the alternate material used is not so hard, is not so strong, the strength obtained of the cubes was less. It was not same as the strength obtained with aggregate, that is the basaltic type. But as I would like to inform you, as they had done earlier, in order to form concrete, we can use alternate materials as was used then. But then the question is, when we are getting the good aggregates readily, easily over here, then why not use it? So these are the 3 questions. Now let us continue further. We have seen the concrete basics yesterday, and then going further, I would like to talk about the reinforcement in RCC. Now, as far as the reinforcement in RCC is concerned, the advantage of steel bars is that Due to its high strength capability in tension as well as compression, very small amount of steel is required to be provided to increase the load carrying capacity of the concrete. This is what I had mentioned yesterday also, and what we observe is that the amount of steel used is very small. It's hardly anything, just 0.2% to 2% for beams, very small for slabs, which we have discussed yesterday, and similarly for columns. Now, as far as the reinforcement is concerned, let me also mention something like this. The load transfer between the steel and concrete in any member occurs only when there is good connection, good grip between them. This connection for effective load transfer is known as bond. Bond is the technical term which we use to describe this connection. Now, reinforcement, generally unlike concrete, the steel reinforcement has better quality since it is manufactured under controlled conditions in the factory. For perfect bonding, the steel bars should be clean from dust, dirt, loose rust, scales, and any oily materials. If at all anything is there like this, it should be clean. Sometimes the process of strand blasting or any other treatment may also be used to clean the steel reinforcement. Now, if I look at the clause 5.6 of the Indian Standard Code IS 456, it states the reinforcement shall be any of the following: mild steel and medium tensile steel bars, known as MS bars, conforming to IS 432 Part 1, or it can be high strength deformed bars, which are known as HYSD. HYSD stands for high yield strength deformed bars, conforming to IS 1786, or it can be hard drawn steel wire fabric, conforming to IS 1566, or we can also use structural steel conforming to grade A of IS 2062. Now, it is recommended that the mild steel bars, that is the first category, mild steel bars, and the HYSD bar, that is the high yield strength bars of different grades, may not be used together on the same site, as they could create confusion. When we are placing the bars, when the bars are brought from the factory or from the shop and they are being kept onto the site, the bar diameters could be the same, they could create problems, they could create confusion, and then it could eventually lead to errors at the site. Instead of using a high quality, a high yield strength bar, I may be using a different quality bar, different grade bar. Also, it is said that the mild steel bars have lesser bond with concrete. The mild steel bars have less bond with the concrete because they have smooth surface as compared to the deformed bars. Therefore, the mild steel bars could be used as stirrups in beams and lateral ties in columns. If you can see over here, the mild steel bar has been shown in the picture. They are very smooth. Now, because they are very smooth, sometimes the grip is not proper. If the concreting is not very good, if the compaction has not been done very good, then we could be having the problem of slipping over there. That's the reason why mild steel bars many a times are used only as stirrups in beams or lateral ties in columns. IS 432 clause 2.1 defines a bar or a reinforcing bar as a hot rolled bar of steel or circular of steel of circular or square cross section. It can be square or it can be circular. Now, IS 432 continues further in the foreword in point 4 states that the concrete reinforcement having an ultimate tensile strength of not less than 540 newtons per mm square. Please note, ultimate tensile strength of not less than 540 newtons per mm square has been categorized as medium tensile steel instead of high tensile steel in the present standard. In concrete reinforcement, the term high tensile strength, or sorry, the term high tensile steel is, as a general practice, used to mean steel having tensile strength in steel a higher range, say about 1000 to 2200 newtons per mm square, which is generally used in pre-stressed concrete. That is what has been given in the IS 4432 forward. Now this forward continues in point 5 where it states grade 2 mild steel bars are not recommended for use in structures located in earthquake zones subjected to severe damage and for structures subjected to dynamic loading other than wind loading, example railways, highway bridges and such structures. Now, when we continue further, we find that in IS 432 clause 6.1, we find sizes of the bars. Sizes. The mild steel and medium tensile steel bars shall be supplied in the following nominal sizes. Please note, these are the sizes of the bars available in India. Diameter of round bars or side of square bars are 5, all these are in mm, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 20, 22, 25, 28, 32, 36, 40, 45 and 50 mm. Now IS 432 also states that bars of diameters up to 20 mm of mild steel grade 1 has minimum ultimate tensile strength of 410 Newton per mm square and minimum yield stress as 250 Newton per mm square. Please note the diameters up to 20 mm of mild steel grade 1 has minimum ultimate tensile strength of 410 Newton per mm square. This is the ultimate strength. And minimum yield stress is 250 Newton per mm square. I will be stressing on the yield stress again. Yield stress is 250 Newton per mm square with minimum elongation of 23%. Whereas the bars of diameters greater than 20 mm up to 50 mm of mild steel grade 1 has minimum ultimate tensile strength of 410 Newton per mm square and minimum yield stress is 240 Newton per mm square with a minimum elongation of 23%. Then it continues further and says that the bars of diameters up to 20 mm of mild steel grade 2 has minimum ultimate tensile strength of 370 Newton per mm square and minimum yield stress is 225 Newton per mm square with similar elongation of 23%. And then the further one greater than 20 mm to 50 mm mild steel grade 2 has ultimate tensile strength 370 Newton per mm square. Minimum yield stress again reduced over here to 215 Newton per mm square. Elongation minimum remaining same at 23%. Now the bars of diameter up to 16 mm of medium tensile steel has ultimate tensile strength of 540 Newton per mm square. Minimum yield stress 350 Newton per mm square. Minimum elongation 20%. All these details have been given in the relevant code, that is IS 432. Now the modulus of elasticity of steel, as we know, is 2 followed by 5 zeros Newton per mm square. Please note the mild steel Fe250. The mild steel is known as Fe250 because the yield strength of this steel is 250 Newton per mm square. So whenever we will be referring to mild steel, we will be talking of Fe250 itself, and 250 will be the yield strength, not the ultimate strength but the yield strength of this. Now coming to the deformed steel bars, that is HYSD bars. They are available in the following grades, that is Fe415, Fe415D, Fe415S, Fe500, Fe500D and 500S, then Fe550, Fe550D and also Fe600. Let me also inform you the letters D and S indicate enhanced additional requirements, something like D term tells me that it may have more ductility. That is what we understand, that it may be more ductile, it is having enhanced characteristics, but the yield strength is the same, like Fe415, Fe415D, Fe415S, all three have the same yield strength. The steel bars of Fe415, 415D and 415S have 0.2% proof stress or yield stress as specified in this as 415 Newton per mm square, and its minimum percentage elongation on the gauge length, that is 5.65 root A, will be 14.5, 18 and 20 respectively for the three bars. Similarly, the ones have been defined in IS 432 for Fe500, Fe500D and Fe500S, and similarly for Fe600 also. The clause 6 of IS 1786-2008 defines the nominal sizes of these bars, the HYSD bars. The nominal sizes of the bars and wires shall be as follows: 4 mm, 5 mm, 6 mm, 8 mm, 10 mm, 12 mm, 16 mm, 20 mm, 25 mm, 28 mm, 32 mm, 36 mm and 40 mm. The clause 7.2 of the same IS code specifies that for the purpose of checking the nominal mass, the density of the steel shall be taken as 0.00785 kg per mm square of the cross-sectional area per meter.